Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. We're just gonna hop onto the online ladder currently with a rating of over the 1700s, so gonna try to make a push for the 1800s. As I mentioned, I think I'm gonna use this world team until the end of the week and then switch to a brand new team. I also am gonna do my best to get back on the daily content schedule. Ironically, right after my laptop was fixed, my 3DS cord broke, so I had to get another one, but hopefully we don't run into any technical issues here on out. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please show your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. In addition, I'll actually be at Arizona Regionals this weekend, so if any of you guys are going there, definitely come say hello to me. We're gonna find Kazumi from Germany with a rating of 1678, rocking a relatively standard looking team of Landorus, Kangaskhan, Cresselia, Blaziken, Aegislash, and Rotom Wash. So, Blaziken here is probably the thing that sticks out the most. Otherwise, Kangaskhan, Landorus, Cresselia, Aegislash are very resemblant of the world's metagame. Let's see. So Sylveon actually fares pretty well here. I might lead Mind Sylveon, get that Intimidate off, and then try to Calm Mind. So Gotrap could be good here, but with potential U-turn from Landorus, I'm not so sure. And Aegislash, of course. Though leading Swampert's not so bad either. Actually, I like Salmon Swampert more. Yeah. And Blaziken can be really good here because of the Kangaskhan, the Aegislash, and the Landorus. Maybe I won't even bring Sylveon then because I think Ferrothorn's important to knock out the... or just give Cresselia and Aegislash a lot of trouble. And Rotom Wash. Yeah, I'm going to bring Ferrothorn instead. So I'll lock in. We'll see how this goes. It's always difficult to bring Gothitelle when your opponent has an Aegislash, since Aegislash does really well against Gothitelle. You know, Gothitelle can't trap it, Aegislash can just switch out of Shadow Tag. So I'm wary of bringing Gothitelles a lot of the times, especially in a best of one. So you can imagine if I lead Gothitelle, my opponent leads something like Aegislash Kangaskhan, then Kangaskhan could just fake out my partner for Gothitelle, and then Aegislash can just Shadow Ball. So it's really tricky to play around that, and I don't want to fall into that risk just because, you know, I would be immediately down, and a significant amount as well. So I'm gonna go with a safer lead. I think Salamence here, you know, getting the Intimidate off against Kangaskhan, Swampert, and Landorus is all useful. And Swampert here causes a lot of Pokemon trouble. So Rotom Wash, you'd imagine, can give me some trouble here. So that's why I brought Ferrothorn. Mind Sylveon actually does really, really well against Rotom Wash. I actually lost against Angel Miranda in day 2 of US Nationals on stream because his Sylveon was able to Calm Mind up against my Rotom Wash, and I wasn't able to do anything against it. So we are going to see the Rotom make an appearance here, paired with that Aegislash. So I'm alright with that just because Swampert here is in a pretty decent position, but I'm definitely going to want to switch Salamence out here. I also really need to just take care of this Rotom Wash, I think. Unfortunately, Salamence really doesn't do well right now, so I'm going to definitely want to switch that out. It might mean Ferrothorn taking a Will-O-Wisp, though, which I'm not fond of. He might also predict a Protect from Salamence. Yeah, I'll switch on to Ferrothorn and just go for an Earth Power here. See if I can catch my opponent off guard, because Swampert should be slower, and just knock him out. So Salamence switches out. Ferrothorn's going to come in here. Obviously, Ferrothorn's a really good matchup against Rotom Wash. He doesn't switch out Aegislash, that's great. We do see the Will-O-Wisp going into Swampert, though, perfect. Does Aegislash go for a Shadow Ball? He goes for the Substitute instead. It's a great play by my opponent there. Now, sub Aegislash, definitely Resurgence. We saw it a lot, basically almost always in 2014. Earlier this year, we saw Wide Guard, and then we saw Aegislash with, you know, Wide Guard and Substitute, opting not to run Flash Cannon. This seems like our typical leftover Substitute set. So that's going to be a bit annoying to deal with. My team doesn't like facing against that. Swampert, you know, with the Assault Vest, though, in a pretty great position right now. So, let's see. I think here I'm actually going to go straight for the Power Whip, because even if he burns my Ferrothorn, then I can put it in Superpower KO range from Blaziken. And do I want to Earth Power again? Aegislash is honestly probably going to want to switch out here. Like, if I'm my opponent, I would probably switch out into Landorus to get an Intimidate off. You know, I'm actually going to Scald that slot, since Scald can punish any switch in. He doesn't switch out, though, unfortunately, so we do see the Will-O-Wisp going into Ferrothorn. So let's see if Aegislash goes for another Substitute. Yep, he continues to sub up. And I'm okay with that. So Swampert gets the Scald off. I'm probably going to want to Leech Seed this next turn with my Ferrothorn. Let's see if Scald can knock out the sub. Yep, it does. Good. And Ferrothorn's Power Whip connects with Rotom Wash. Good, so that should do around 40% damage. Yep, just right around there. And Aegislash continues to heal from leftovers. So let's see. I don't know, if you're my opponent now, you probably want to switch out Rotom Wash, right? Rotom Wash doesn't really do anything, but now it's kind of tricky. If I can nail a switch-in, that'd be great, since Swampert punishes all the switch-ins. I think I'm going to Leech Seed the Rotom slot. I really don't want Aegislash to get a substitute up. So I'll continue to Scald here, because if he attacks, then I can just knock him out. But Rotom protects. Okay, that's fine. So let's see if Aegislash goes for an attack here, whether he subs again. Yeah, he continues to sub up. So I like that, you know, making me take all this burn damage. But a double target there into the Aegislash would have been really great. I just didn't want the Rotom to potentially switch out. So Aegislash has taken like almost 75% of damage just from setting up substitutes, which is kind of funny. But the leftovers obviously helping my opponent out as well. So presumably Kangaskhan in the back, which I know my Blaziken and my Salamence deal well with. So it comes down to really the last Pokemon. Yeah, I mean Ferrothorn's going to be really important to save here. I really need to probably connect a Leech Seed or two now. Okay, so with Rotom having protected, I'm going to go for the Leech Seed here. And do I want to just attack with Swampert again? Just go for a Scald onto Ferrothorn. Or not Ferrothorn, Aegislash. Leech Seed, Rotom. I don't know, I think Aegislash might King Shield here. Do I predict the King Shield? No, I need to play safe here, I think. Yeah, he doesn't King Shield. Okay, he actually just goes for the attack here, so Hydro Pump going out. Maybe doubling up into Swampert. Though with the Assault Vest, I might actually be able to take this. Let's see. So we do see the Shadow Ball, presumably onto Swampert, but let's see. Yep. Yeah, Assault Vest Swampert takes that with 7 HP. Clutch. So I get the Scald off here against the Aegislash, pick up the knockout there. Swampert actually does have the ability Torrent, so even though it didn't matter there, you know, my water type attack is boosted. You do get the Leech Seed off against Rotom Wash here as well, which is great, so I put on some pressure against that. Unfortunately, I am going to be losing Swampert this turn, but it's a pretty good trade-off. You know, I knocked out the Aegislash, which definitely was annoying to deal with, and Rotom Wash right now is definitely pressured as well since I connected with Leech Seed, so he's going to be inclined to switch out. Do pop that Citrus Berry though, so he still is relatively healthy at around 75%. But, you know, Ferrothorn really loves connecting with Leech Seed, just because it's so monumental to getting rid of all that residual damage from burn. So, Swampert's going to go down here. This is a pretty even game as of right now. And I think I'm going to definitely want to switch in Salamence here just to get that Intimidate off. Rotom's at the point where a Power Whip plus 2 Leech Seeds I think might actually be able to even pick up the knockout. We do see Kangaskhan come in here. Not much of a surprise. So now the question actually is... You know, what is Kangaskhan running exactly? I think I might want to actually switch out Ferrothorn here into Blaziken. There's so many plays we can make here. Yeah, I'm going to switch out into Blaziken. Mega Evolve and Protect here. The reason why I'm switching out into Blaziken here is, yeah, I suspected Rotom Wash want to switch out, so Blaziken can put on some pressure against whatever is coming in. It's actually that Cresselia, so it looks like he doesn't actually have a great way to deal with my my Ferrothorn, which is good. However, Cresselia here can set up Trick Room, which is really, really annoying. It depends I think it really comes down to what Kangaskhan's carrying. Unfortunately, Cresselia does really well against Blaziken and Salamence, so I'm definitely going to need to switch back out into Ferrothorn. Okay, so we both Mega Evolve here. And yeah, maybe I should have got on the offensive this turn and just gone for an attack and gone for a Leech Seed, because I'm not in a good position right now. I think I played maybe a bit too defensive here. I mean, it was basically me trying to figure out what that last Pokemon is. He did go for the Fake Out onto Salamence, so yeah, I could have Leech Seeded Kangaskhan as you'd imagine. Let's see. You know what? I'm actually just going to go for the Superpower into Kangaskhan. Switch out into Ferrothorn. No, he might switch out Kangaskhan. If he doesn't switch out, I can win this one. Or I should win this one, actually. Since Kangaskhan is intimidated. Oh, wow, he didn't switch out. Great. And I'm faster, too, even without the speed boost. So, pretty slow Kangaskhan. Wow, I was not expecting that, but that might have just won me the game. Kangaskhan goes down. Let's see what Cresselia does. Psychic or Ice Beam? Goes for the Trick Room, which means Ferrothorn here is actually in a pretty nice position. And we're at the point now where I think Ferrothorn can actually just carry the game. Unfortunately, just because of the fact that Trick Room has 4 turns, Ferrothorn might be the only Pokemon remaining, since of course I can Protect with Blaziken and do this and that. This is also going to be really annoying if Cresselia has Moonlight, because then it's just going to be a stall fest basically. So here I'm going to Protect and Leech Seed Cresselia, I think. The question is, this Rotom Protect here? Yeah, I'm just going to Protect. And I'm going to go for the Leech Seed on the Crest, because I know Crest probably doesn't have Protect, whereas Rotom could potentially Protect. Now, the other question is, does my opponent make the right prediction? So, for example, after this turn, I've burned 1 turn of Trick Room. I can switch Blaziken out into Salamence. And if my opponent doesn't Ice Beam that slot, that's 2 turns of Trick Room gone, Protect Salamence, 3 turns of Trick Room gone, switch Salamence back out into Blaziken, Trick Room ends. Because that means I do get a partner Pokemon with Ferrothorn. But I'm not entirely sure, First of all, we don't know what Cresselia is carrying here. Blaziken does Protect, indicating that neither of his Pokemon protects. Ferrothorn's Leech Seed connects with Cresselia, so with Trick Room up, Ferrothorn is the fastest Pokemon on the field, which is pretty nice. Cresselia goes for the Ice Beam into Blaziken, so predicting the switch, Thunderbolt onto Ferrothorn. And Thunderbolt's really doing no damage right now, so with that Leech Seed recovery, Ferrothorn looking pretty good right now. But I'm really, really scared that Cresselia here does have the Moonlight, because if it does, then he might actually be able to outstall up this Ferrothorn. So I do get the speed boost here. Obviously, that's not going to matter. Actually, if my opponent's smart, he'll just Ice Beam Hydro Pump Blaziken. So I might, I'm just going to go for a double Protect here. Basically, I can go for a double Protect at 2 different points in this game. If I get either, I think I should be able to win this one. So yeah, I'm just going to go for that. And I'm going to Power Whip. Or maybe I want to Leech Seed Rotom here. Yeah, Leech Seed here, just because then Power Whip. Oh, put him in KO range and I'll be able to heal. Blaziken unfortunately fails to Protect this time around. Leech Seed, however, does connect with Rotom, which is more important. Yep, he does go for the Ice Beam once again into the Blaziken slot. But I suspect we're going to see a Hydro Pump here as well. Yeah. So nice play by my opponent there. My opponent missing Hydro Pump there also would have basically meant the game for me, I think. But not going to be the case. So it ultimately comes down to what this Cresselia is carrying. Now, we know it doesn't have Citrus Berry since Rotom Wash has it. So if I get a double Protect with Salamence, I also win the game, since then Trick Room expires and Double Edge knocks out Cresselia. So this is really coming down to the wire. It was really important knocking out Blaziken earlier, or knocking out Kangaskhan with Blaziken, though. I thought I was in a really bad position, but I was able to at least salvage myself and put myself into a slightly better position. So I'll bring out Salamence here. And the Protect from Salamence is so obvious, I wonder if he actually my opponent doubles up into Ferrothorn. Because I could just go for an attack here onto Cresselia, and that could potentially win me the game. But you know what? No, I'm going to go for it. Yeah, and I'll just Power Whip Rotom. I don't know, it was an obvious Protect, but let's see what Crest does. So Power Whip connects with Rotom, that's fantastic. Almost knocks it out, so Faint after Leech Seed. Yeah, Ice Beam to go into Salamence, good. Hydro Pump into a Ferrothorn just to get as much damage off as possible, good play there. So I could potentially win off right now, just off trying to get another double Protect. And that's why I went for double Protect earlier with Blaziken. I didn't want to, just lose Salamence. So, we'll see how it works. Obviously, the chance of getting a double Protect now is 1/3, so not that great. But it is a 2-on-1 now. Cresselia obviously can't do anything against Ferrothorn. With Moonlight, it might be a bit annoying. Though, actually, I should be... No, we'll see how this goes. So let's see, first of all, whether we get the double Protect or not. And somehow, if Cresselia is not bulky enough, or not strong enough, Salamence could survive an Ice Beam. I don't anticipate that, though. Gonna go for the Protect here, and gonna go for the Power Whip. Salamence gets the double Protect. Nice. So I just needed 1 of 2 there, and that should be able to seal up the game here. Unless he actually is smart enough and goes for a Moonlight this turn with Cresselia. Nope, he went for the Ice Beam. Yep, that's gonna be game. So I don't even know if it had Moonlight. If it didn't, then there was no way it could have won against Ferrothorn, but you know, I had to play to my odds there, and there wasn't really anything I could have done, and I'm glad I didn't go for that risky play with Salamence just attacking there. You know, it's a play I might make against, like, players who know my predictions and can, you know how to play against me, but in this kind of game, you know, I'm just going to play safer. So now Double Edge just wins me the game. So, turned a really, really bad position when Cresselia and Kangaskhan were out into a pretty solid one when I was able to just knock out Kangaskhan with the Blaziken. That was really the turning point of the battle. I think if my opponent switched out into Rotom Wash there and knocked out Blaziken, I definitely would have lost this one. So, we're able to take a win in this first game of today's episode, and we're just going to look for our opponent in the next one. That was a pretty great win, though. Really well played by my opponent, I thought, as well, especially with the Rotom Wash and the Aegislash in the early game there. So, that was an exciting one. And, you know, you always feel pretty great about those kind of games when not much RNG, though. You know, I did get pretty lucky there getting the double protect off. But otherwise, solid game overall. So, just going to look for our next game here. Now let's see. Yeah, otherwise in that last one, I think the scary thing is that shows you how volatile Blaziken can be. So we're going to find Dora with the rating of 1721 from Japan. And that's why Blaziken really comes down to mind games and whether you can make the right play or not. Adora here is rocking a Sand team, kind of. Actually, Mega Gardevoir hybrid team here. I really like it. You know, Mega Gardevoir always basically paired up with Landorus, Amoonguss, and Heatran. But we do see Zapdos and Tyranitar here. So it actually reminds me a lot of Scar's team, which had 5 of the 6 Pokemon, but Thunder is over Zapdos, and Scar finished in the top 8 at Worlds. So let's see what I want to lead with here. So I think Salamence here can be good, but Trick Room, you know, on my opponent's team obviously renders it somewhat useless. Zapdos is also super, super concerning, but Swampert here, I think, really important. But the Amoonguss is basically what's bothering me the most. Ferrothorn also really good. Gotrap could be good here. The issue with Gotrap is Gardevoir can trace Shadow Tag. So I could go with Salamence to get that Intimidate off immediately. Maybe Salamence Swampert again, honestly. Or Salamence Sylveon here, because Calm Minds can be really nice. I don't know, I want Blaziken in this match, but it's so difficult because my opponent can knock me out with the majority of his attacks if I don't play correctly with Blaziken. So I think I'm going to go Swampert Ferrothorn instead. Yeah. So basically by leading Salamence Sylveon, I get the Intimidate off in case my opponent leads. Excuse me. A Landorus or Tyranitar, and then I can Calm Mind up as well. I think Calm Mind's actually pretty important in this match, given how many of my opponent's Pokemon are special type attackers. Of course, with the Chesto Berry, Amoonguss, it can also kind of wall Amoonguss if played correctly, so we'll see. But definitely pretty tough matchup. Zapdos is never fun to face against, because a lot of the times they carry Roost, which is actually why I'm bringing Sylveon here, so I can Calm Mind up against it. But we see Gardevoir and Landorus coming out from my opponent here, so, you know, this was a very, very popular lead at the World Championships, and you know, makes sense, right? Because like it's so much coverage. Landorus gets that Intimidate off to really shut down physical type attackers like Salamence. So I do get the Intimidate in return. Let's see what Gardevoir traces here. It is going to be able to trace that Intimidate. That's always incredibly annoying. So Salamence here is probably going to want to switch out, unfortunately. I wonder if Gardevoir has Imprison. That would be really cool. So I could switch out into Ferrothorn, but then if Landorus U-turns out into Swampert, I'm done for. Not really, I mean, I could still switch out into Swampert. Yeah, I'm going to switch into Ferrothorn here, though. And I'm actually just going to Calm Mind this first turn. Because by Calm Minding, I can rest the following turn after... And I'm slower than Gardevoir, right? So then Gardevoir's Hyper Voice won't knock me out after 2 hits. I'll be able to rest and then start dishing out Hyper Voices. So it requires a little bit of setup. Landorus here could just choose the U-turn, could Rock Slide as well. Also, I know that when Salamence comes back in, Double Edge knocks out Gardevoir in 1 hit. He does, however, play it smartly, goes for the U-turn there. And I do like that play a lot because it gives my opponent better positioning regardless of what comes in here. So I suspect Heatran is going to be the one coming in, though, which is pretty unfortunate. But if my opponent didn't bring a Heatran, nope, going to be that Heatran, yeah. Let's see what Gardevoir goes for. Yeah, he just launches a Hyper Voice here, so Ferrothorn takes that. Sylveon's going to be able to Calm Mind up, but... I fear that might not have been the right play since Heatran came in. Because now he can just Heat Wave Hyper Voice, and I don't think Sylveon will be able to take a combination of that. It might be able to, though. It'll be close. Okay. So, yeah, this really stinks. Gonna switch into Swampert here. Gonna go for the rest here with Sylveon. Yeah, I fear I played that incorrectly, actually. And I was banking off Landers maybe not going for the U-turn, but that was such a safe play on my opponent's end. This matchup, you can see, is kind of difficult in itself. If I let Gothitelle Salamence, Landers can just U-turn out. He might be able to trap me in with this Gardevoir if he traced the Intimidate. Okay, so Swampert comes in here. Oh, he actually protects with the Gardevoir. That's great for me. Heatran goes for the Flamethrower onto Sylveon, presumably. That shouldn't knock me out. Yeah. So, hey, that Calm Mind actually helps me out, and I get the rest up, which is great. Fantastic. So now Sylveon's sitting at +1. These special type attacks will be doing significantly less damage. Chesto Berry does wake me up. The Gardevoir did protect last turn, so I can double up into that slot with a Hyper Voice and a Scald. I could also... I think it's highly unlikely Heatran attacks here, so I'm gonna, just Scald and Hyper Voice here. Could get greedy and go for another Calm Mind, but I just want damage. He does switch out the Gardevoir. I think presumably maybe into Amoonguss. Yep, gonna be Amoonguss. So let's see if Heatran protects here. Yep, so he made the safest play possible, but I'm actually really happy with that because now Sylveon's in a pretty solid position. A burn here onto Amoonguss would be really, 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 really good. So let's see if I can get that. Hyper Voice still does a good amount of damage there, though, because of the +1 boost. So do we burn Amoonguss? No, we don't. But, hey, that's alright. I'll take that. So, we're inclined to Hidden Power right now. Actually, I think I'm just gonna Ice Beam Amoonguss. Hyper Voice. Or Hidden Power. Oh, this is tough. Yeah, Scald Burn there would have meant that Hyper Voice, I think. I mean, it just would have put on more pressure against Amoonguss. Okay, question is, does Heatran switch out here? Because you can Rage Powder safely with Swampert. Or with Amoonguss. So the question is, does Amoonguss Rage Powder or does he Spore right now? Decisions. I'll go for the Ice Beam onto Amoonguss. And maybe Calm Mind here? Yeah, I'll Calm Mind. Okay, so he didn't Rage Powder, so he's going for the Spore, goes for the Flamethrower onto Sylveon. I take that well, get a second Calm Mind up. Let's see how especially defensive this Amoonguss is. Get the Ice Beam off, okay. Can we knock it out? Oh, so close! But he gets the Spore off against Sylveon. Oh, we targeted Swampert. Cool. Nice. Okay, that was close. That was a close call. So Rock Slide. I could Calm Mind again right now, predicting the Protect. But I think I'm just gonna Hyper Voice here. And I'm just gonna take a turn of sleep here with my Swampert. And I know, because Amoonguss here, like, you want to either Protect or Switch out. If you Switch out, whatever's coming in takes a +2 Hyper Voice. So ultimately, that Calm Mind earlier in the game was actually really important, and my opponent messed up. He doesn't Protect her with either Pokemon, goes for the Flamethrower onto Sylveon. Sylveon now takes that like a champion, gets the Hyper Voice off, gonna be able to pick up the knockout there against Amoonguss, and still does an average amount there against Heatran. So we are up 4-3. Amoonguss goes down, so Swampert's biggest threat is out of the way now, which is really good, and I take a turn of sleep, so things are looking not too bad right now. Landorus comes in for my opponent, which, makes sense. Presumably banded, but what this means I can do is switch Swampert out into Salamence, which hasn't a Mega Evolve yet, so I do get that Intimidate. And I think I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Plate. The thing is, Landorus is probably Scarfed or Banded, so I can Hyper Voice to get guaranteed damage there. But if I Hidden Power Heatran, I could knock it out. They might have Shucka. But I am at +2. You know what? I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Play. I haven't revealed it yet. Oh, but he switches out. Nicely done. Maybe a U-turn then? I wonder if it was predicting the Hidden Power. That would have been such a clutch prediction. Yeah, so I guess I should have gone for Hyper Voice, but I knew if I could have knocked out Heatran there, I basically would have won the game since I had Ferrothorn in the back. So let's see what he goes for. He just launches a Rock Slide. Okay, so he's going Rock Slide mode right now. Oh, that does so much still. Yeah, and I revealed the hidden power, unfortunately. Oh, does a pretty good amount, but you'd imagine a Hyper Voice there could have won me the game. So I guess my opponent was banking off the flinch or hoping something good. So here I'm just gonna Mega Evolve, Protect. We're probably just gonna see a Rock Slide, Hyper Voice. So I could switch out into Ferrothorn. And I actually kind of like that idea. Or, you know what, I'm just gonna go for a Hyper Voice. In case my opponent doesn't pick up the knockout here, I, win the game. Because you suspect Rock Slide plus Hyper Voice, but it is -1 Rock Slide, and it is Hyper Voice against a Calm Mind, a +2 Sylveon. And the thing is, even if I lose Sylveon here, I just get a free switch into Ferrothorn anyway. Okay, so he should be Scarf Landorus here. Actually, no, that damage looks like band damage. Alright, let's see if Hyper Voice can knock Sylveon out. Presumably so, but I am at +2. Oh, Sylveon's so freaking good. And Landorus goes down in one hit. That's going to be game. That should be game. What a crazy match. Because now I can just Earthquake with my Salamence. That's why I do carry Earthquake for these kind of teams. This is such a good episode. Holy cow. So I'm going to Earthquake here. Calm Mind Sylveon, man. I love you. And... do I want to switch out into Pert? Pert's my win condition, though. Maybe I'll actually switch out into Ferrothorn. Reason being, Ferrothorn's absolutely useless against Heatran. Actually, yeah, my opponent's just going to forfeit. So, we're going to take a 4-2 win there. Really, really great game there. It was all because of Calm Mind Sylveon. And that's exactly why I brought it to the World Championships for games like these. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get too many setups, but it can outright win you games after 1 or 2 Calm Minds, especially if you play correctly. So, today's episode was really showing off Calm Mind Sylveon and Blaziken. Ferrothorn putting in a lot of work in that first game, though, as well, and Swampert as well. So, that was a really, really fun episode. I thought we played against some really skilled opponents and had two fantastic matches. So, couldn't have asked for a better episode, especially since they were, excuse me, relatively standard-looking teams that we do see a lot on the online ladder and might see at regionals. So, it's kind of the reason why I brought this kind of anti-meta team to Worlds. And ultimately, it was just me not playing as well. I do really like my team choice, and I didn't actually run into any Japanese trainers who, ran that common Cresselia, Heatran, Amoonguss, Landorus, Kangaskhan team. So, glad to, show off what the Worlds team can really do when played correctly. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like always if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, peace.